Okay, so living a double life. I went through this in my other video. So on the outside, you're a successful professional, you're a driven student, trying to be a loving husband, and the man that people look up to. You want to be that masculine man, right? But behind closed doors, you're wrestling with this demon that's been slowly eroding your soul, and it's porn addiction, sex addiction with other women. Maybe you've had the heart-stopping moment when your wife almost caught you. It's happened to me in the past and it was not good. Or you found yourself staring at the screen, disgusted with what you're doing, but unable to stop. Maybe you're starting to notice the way it's poisoning your marriage, your mind, damaging your self-esteem, and undermining the very success you've worked so hard to build. It's easy to feel like you're trapped, stuck in this vicious cycle of craving and shame, but what if I told you that this struggle is more than just an addiction? What if it's actually a call to an adventure, an invitation to become a better, stronger, and more authentic version of yourself? So this video isn't about quitting porn. It's about turning your struggle into your greatest transformation. So we're diving into the Jungian approach to porn recovery. And again, it's an approach that goes far beyond just abstinence. This is about an individuation, the process of becoming your true self. So if you're ready to see your addiction not as a curse, but as a catalyst for a profound and personal growth, you're in the right place. So stick around, because we're gonna go on a hero's journey right now. And I'll tell you about my hero's journey in this video, one where quitting porn becomes the first step to becoming and living your most powerful, purpose-driven life. So this is acknowledging your shadow. And I went through this in my last 2 videos ago. I talked about the shadow self, but I'm going to go into more of like a hero's journey in this video. So the first step to any transformative journey, is to face your shadow. In Jungian psychology, the shadow represents all the parts of ourselves that we suppress, deny, or are too ashamed to confront. So for many men, including myself, porn addiction is the ultimate shadow. It's where the guilt and the shame and the loneliness and inadequacy all converge. They all come together. So you might be wondering why it's so hard to break free from porn when you know how destructive it is. So the answer lies in what it represents emotionally to you. So porn isn't just a bad habit. It's a way of escaping this unresolved pain, a way of numbing the deeper parts of you that are crying out for attention. So imagine a man named David. He's a successful man, known for his leadership and drive. He's married with 2 kids, appears to have it all together. But David has a dark secret. He's been addicted to porn. For years, it started in college, but it never went away. As his stress levels increased with running his company and being a dad, he found himself turning to porn more often as a way to cope. One night, his wife almost caught him. The look on her face when she opened the door and saw him fumbling to close his laptop was enough to crack his facade. He knew that if he didn't confront his now, he would lose everything: his marriage, his respect, and his dignity. That's when he realized that porn wasn't the problem, the symptom. It's only the symptom. The real issue was buried much deeper. It was about feeling inadequate as a man, about fearing that his success wasn't real, that one day he'd be exposed as a fraud. Porn gave him a brief escape from that crushing fear. This is where he faces his shadow. So David took the courageous step of journaling about his addiction. He wrote down every thought that made him uncomfortable, every fear he didn't want to face. He asked himself, why am I doing this? What pain am I trying to numb? And it's not an easy process. It hurts. It stirred up old wounds and unresolved pain, but it was essential to acknowledge these truths if he wanted to break free. So this is where healing and integration begins. So acknowledging the shadow is just the beginning. The next step is healing and integration. This is where you take all those fragmented parts of yourself, start bringing them together to form a unified whole. So for this man named David, this man exploring his deepest insecurities, his fear of failure, and his underlying loneliness. He worked with a therapist, trained in analysis to explore these parts of his psyche instead of pushing them away. Or he worked with a coach, and one powerful tool he discovered was active in imagination, a Jungian technique where you have a dialogue with your inner self. He visualized the shadow self and asked his questions like, why are you here? What do you want to tell me? What are you protecting me from? What needs are you trying to meet by drawing me to porn? Through these dialogues, David began to see that his addiction was rooted in his fear of not being enough. It wasn't about physical cravings. It was a desperate attempt to escape his own feelings of inadequacy. So think about the hero's journey. So you're being called on a quest. Okay. And you got to plan this quest out. And you go on this adventure. And I went on one to Sedona. I went to Sedona 3 months ago. And I was just called to go. I had no idea what to expect. Made a schedule, hopped on a plane, I left. And I had no intentions of what I wanted to get out of it, but you're called to do something great. And it's almost like the universe is saying you have to get called, you have to do this for you to grow into what you want to become. And when I was there, I encountered difficulty because I didn't know what I was doing when I was hiking. I never hiked like that before. I almost fell. It was very hard. I met people there, and this is all part of the hero's journey. You get called on an adventure. It's very challenging because you're on unknown territory with different animals and different people and all these terrains that you're trying to hike. And I was doing the hardest ones. And then you meet people there who are there to kind of guide you in a way. And I met these beautiful people, and as you're there, there's a message that starts popping up in your head. And towards the end of the trip, it was clear, like, this is like what I need to do, and you get to see things intuitively, and you start to reflect back on the challenges and how you're different, how your mind has become different after this trip. And it really opened my eyes to a whole new experience of life. And it's very, very incredible if you can take your porn addiction as a hero's journey. So Sedona was my second hero's journey. My porn addiction was my first hero's journey but it was a 17-year hero's journey. And it's really interesting. I just wanted to share that with you. My trip to Sedona and how I used it for growth, and how this porn addiction, you can use this as growth. So there's different integrative practices you can use. So there's art therapy as well. So we're going to go back to David. David started drawing what his addiction looked like. It can be a distorted dark figure, a manifestation of his anxiety, his self-doubt. Turning his feelings into art helped him externalize his pain and see it objectively. Meditation and breath work. Again, I have another video on breath work. Practicing daily mindfulness allowed him to observe his cravings without reacting to them, building resilience and discomfort. Journaling and reflection, David continued to write, but this time with a focus on self-forgiveness and acceptance. He allowed himself to grieve the years lost to addiction and embrace the courage it took to confront his past. So this is where purpose and wholeness comes in, part of the hero's journey. As David continued his journey, he realized that quitting porn was not the final goal. It was just the beginning. So real transformation happened when he discovered his purpose. So through his healing process, he developed a passion for helping other men face their shadows. He launched a business and he went out on his own. He left his shitty 9-to-5 or business, and he just did something that was really connected to who he was. And he started helping men. And he started doing something incredible. He came out stronger. His purpose wasn't just to stay sober. It was to empower other men to reclaim their lives. And quitting porn became a catalyst for finding his voice, strengthening his relationships, and being a better father and husband. It wasn't about just surviving without porn. It was about thriving as a whole person. So here's the thing. Quitting porn is not just about giving up a bad habit. It's about answering your call to become a better, more complete version of yourself, It's about using your struggle as the very thing that propels you to grow and evolve. So here's your challenge. Ready? Here's your challenge. Think about what purpose or passion you could pursue if you were no longer held by your addiction. What do you love to do? So comment below with one ambition you devote your energy to, whatever that is. If you love picking up trash, become the best trash picker. But really, like, it has to be deep. If you have to be, like, what's that one thing that you could do for the rest of your life? And with one ambition, you devote your energy to whether it's building your business, deepening your relationship, or mastering a new skill. So I want you to take action. I have a free guide, journal, and worksheet linked. I'm going to have a link in the description. It's designed to help you dive deeper into your purpose. So ask the right questions and map out your journey toward transformation. In this week, take one small step toward that purpose. It could be as simple as starting a morning meditation, writing down your goals, or talking to someone you trust. Whatever it is, do it and come back here to share your progress. Remember, your addiction doesn't define you. It's the challenge that shapes you into the man you're meant to be.